Start your engines. God, that sounded so cheesy. Anyway, it's Game Trigger Studios reviewing Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. We finally have a Hot Wheels game that is fan-freaking-tastic, and it most certainly is more than a simple Forza Horizon expansion. That's right, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 brings die-cast, high-octane fun to your living room on consoles and PC. It's louder, meaner, razzled and dazzled with that Spectra Flame paint. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 revs higher than its predecessor, and we're only gonna get faster from here. I am so stoked that we got another mainline Hot Wheels game. Back in the ye old PS2 days, Hot Wheels Velocity X and Hot Wheels World Race were always on. Personally, I played the Wheels Off Velocity X. It was a mission-based game that also had car combat elements, especially the car combat. Select over 130 different Hot Wheels and race them in a variety of different locations. At the arcade, in your own room, in the lounge, and even in Vin Diesel's garage for the ideal family experience. This is the first Hot Wheels game to feature officially licensed cars and also the first one to feature bikes. Weird that we never quite saw such a thing in previous games. Another thing, this is the first Hot Wheels game to give us that sort of a hyper-realistic graphics to the game's appearance. I had no idea that it could just work quite so well over here. Oh yeah, photorealistic, that's what it's called. Those who remember fondly the Axel Erasers movie might just raise an eyebrow to the focus on photorealism. To some it feels weird at first, but eventually you get used to it. Maybe the guys at Milestone wanted our wildest Hot Wheels races to come to life. This is the closest we have ever come to experiencing how we saw our Hot Wheels races back when we were little and used to play with them. Who knew? The soundtrack is alright. Not too extreme, nothing too bland. It's just there for the sake of being there, I don't know. Maybe games like Need for Speed and Ridge Racer have given me sky-high standards that I expect almost every game to conform to that standard, but it's there for the sake of being there. But I do not see myself Googling the soundtrack or typing it on YouTube just to listen to it. I do that with pretty much every other game I play, not this one though. The game has DLC that is well worth the upgrade, but the standard version of the game feels lacking, especially when you want more rev for your buck. The standard version of the game was alright since it was on the Game Pass. Was. Now you have to shell out the ducats to buy it. Anyway, if you want to pick up an addictive racing game, it is money well spent. Get the Legendary Edition of the game if you see yourself shredding a lot of orange top. Yeah, totally meant orange top because you don't have black top on a Hot Wheels track, yeah. Much like Forza, the game allows you to make, share, and use posted liveries. This detail is the cherry on top, which I really like. You can drive the BMW M3 GTR. The M3 GTR with the right kind of paint job. You can do the same with the Volkswagen Golf GTI, which would be the first blacklist car from the OG Need for Speed Most Wanted. Fancy kit from Knight Rider? We literally have kit in the game, like the official license kit, not a paint job. You want the Mach 5 or the Melange from Speed Racer? A fan's definitely made a livery for several cars. Each car has its own different type, like its own strengths and weaknesses. Rocket type cars go real fast in straight lines. Heavy duty type cars dish out punishment to other opponents. Off-road cars work great off the track. You love drifting around? There is definitely a type for that. Mix and match different upgrades as well to craft the ultimate dream machine. Looks like they weren't kidding about the Unleashed part. The game even allows players to design their own Hot Wheels track as well as play on other fan-made tracks. However, I do not think you can race with the others on them. What a bummer. Still, I have seen better in Trackmania. Perhaps I might be judging a little too harshly here. What say you? Now, It's time for the Game Trigger score. I rate Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 a 7 out of 10. The game is a proper, great mainline Hot Wheels game with lots of cars to choose from. However, I feel like the experience is seriously lacking if you go for the standard edition, but whatever suits you, I guess. The driving does feel responsive and arcadey, as it should. The racing action ticks all the right boxes while earning in-game currency is certainly no big deal. Personally, I feel like there's a shortage of good driving games in general. Clearly, I can't be the only one who feels this way, right? I said driving games, not racing games, because when you say driving, you've got all these other games. Anyway, the reason why I gave a rather lenient score to Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 is largely because where is the competition? Where are these other games that are supposed to compete aggressively for the gamer dollars? I do not quite see them the same way as I used to, but I do suppose times are changing. Game Trigger out.